Okay, let's call this to order and ask for a roll call, please.
Bryant DeLong.
Here.
Don Kramer. Anthony Bologna.
Here.
Natalie Scholl.
Here.
Jason Word.
Here.
James Godwin.
Here.
Scott Lakin.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for approval of the minutes from last meeting?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that'll pass. Do we have public comments this go-around?
It is on the agenda.
No? Okay, so no public comments. We're on to approve.
I will say it was a letter emailed to all of you all from Commissioner Johnson, but that's also considered a public comment.
Oh, okay.
So it's
All
coming from the
right.
public.
I didn't even look to see if that was further down. So, all right.
And if anyone doesn't have that, I could read it. I have
Has
to get a
everybody had
copy.
the opportunity to review that letter?
I saw.
Yeah.
Everybody had it? Okay.
Is he done?
If not, I could read it. I will have to get a copy, though. I don't have a copy.
Have you? Okay. Everybody? Yeah.
Okay.
I guess everybody has. Any discussion on that? One issue that was raised pre-meeting that I'm going to raise at this point since we're on that subject, because I know Commissioner's letter dealt with it. Scott, do you want to, or who said that? No, it wasn't Scott. What's the issue with the law? We heard an issue with the law.
Oh, it was Don.
Don, yeah. Can you hit your microphone, please?
So I was told to investigate. I talked to Tony Lukemeyer, and he said, make sure, yeah, the state senator, make sure that, because he wrote that statute, and he said, make sure that that doesn't apply. He thought it did apply to charters, because he said when he wrote that on the sheriff's pay, he said when he wrote that it was, they had made one exception. So he said, make sure that it's not under the state.
We haven't had a chance to talk, but
We're not talking about the prosecutor's salary, are we?
no.
Sure.
Okay, I don't know about this issue then.
No, so this was just talk, we just.
Just-
before she
yes, just
mentioned in the
okay.
conversation that there's, the issue was raised that the sheriff's salary might be outside of our jurisdiction, yeah.
And my question too is, if it is, then wouldn't they automatically correct it to the circuit court judges as well, like the prosecutor?
I didn't get the question.
Oh, well, my question is, if it is under state statute, I would think that they would automatically correct it with the prosecutors to at least the circuit court judge, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how that works.
Is this a proposed state statute?
No, this is.
Did he provide, he probably didn't provide which state statute he's referring to, did he?
No, he just said to make sure we investigate that.
Okay.
Yeah,
And just so everyone is aware, make sure so the public is understanding, investigating, there was some conversation that says that Senator Lukemeyer stated that when he was drafting the state statute regarding pay, that it may include the sheriff's pay, which would only be determined by the state, was set it for the entire state and not by charter, which is what we've been doing thus far, is by charter.
Yeah, because he said at the time they had made an exception for Boone County. And he wasn't 100% sure, but he thought it did include charters as well, but he wasn't 100% sure. So all he said was just investigate that.
Okay, so I'm reading 57.317. Except in a non-charter county of the first class with more than 150,000 and less than 200,000 inhabitants, so that's going to be Boone, the county sheriff in any county of the first or second classification shall receive an annual salary equal to 80% of the compensation of an associate circuit judge. So that's the standalone language for compensation for a sheriff. We don't fit in that exception. It says in a county of the first or second class shall receive a salary equal to that. I don't think that applies to us. So did somebody do any research into Jackson County on their sheriff's salary? Do we have that?
The amount or?
Isn't it more than an associate circuit judge?
Yes.
Okay, so typically, if you're going to address a charter county, you say it specifically under the statute. So I would say two things. One is, I don't think this applies to us, so I think we can go forward. But two, the reality is, if it does apply, then what we're doing is harmless. It's always good, state statute's always going to prevail as an expression of authority. So I think we're fine to move forward. And again, if someone believes that it does apply to us, then we'll default back to the 80%.
I also believe that Jefferson County, which is also a charter county,
Is more than 80%?
It's a provision different than, yes.
Yeah,
it's more
so
than 80%.
that's what I think too. I think this is inartfully worded. It usually would be very more specific. But I don't think we should assume it applies to us. I think it doesn't.
And that makes sense, because I did bring that to his attention that Jackson County was making more than that.
Yeah.
But he just said, make sure you guys do
Yeah,
that.
no, well, good point, but I think we're okay to proceed. And again, if we're wrong, there's no harm. Scott?
I think the harm is with the ballot language. If we're representing to the voters that we're dealing with the sheriff's salary and that kind of thing, and then it turns out we don't have the authority to do that, I think that's kind of a disservice to the voters, and I would like to see maybe a legal opinion of some kind.
Well,
And I have a lot of respect, Kevin, for your.
well, here's our problem. We don't have time for that. And I don't mean to be, dismissive, because I'm not trying to be dismissive, but we are at a point in your process where addressing this on the fly, moving forward, would be extremely difficult. I don't think the statute is written to incorporate charter counties. It is specifically, the only counties referenced are non-charter. And we know that there are charter counties that are exceeding that number. We know that, at least two. So I think that is, at least, assuming from a timing perspective, today is the day to get this passed. I think that's where we are.
Numbers I got all show that Boone County's 174, but then Jackson County's 188.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Week, that can happen, but we are running out of time. And Mr. Godwin, when do you leave?
Saturday.
This Saturday, okay.
Anybody got any questions to that was read? I think it's pretty straightforward that, for the most part, we've also had this in place for several years by now. So someone did challenge it, should have been done a few years back. So we're just reiterating what's already been there as a charter and going through it.
Okay. Other thoughts on that? I mean, again, I don't want to shut down discussion on that, but I'm concerned about timing, and we have a few days we could address it if that's the intent. But my opinion is that this statute doesn't apply to us based on the reasons we talked about.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anything further on that issue from anyone? No?
And so on that, in the new constitution in front of you, just so you, it's very simple language, but 406 A and B is the new language that, based on our conversation last week.
Being that everyone may not have a copy of this, and to make sure it's recorded as to what is being stated. 406A states, "The prosecuting attorney shall be paid a salary equal to the salary paid to circuit court judges for the state of Missouri and shall be adjusted at the same time as the salaries for circuit judges for the state of Missouri as are adjusted." B is, "The sheriff shall be paid a salary equal to the salary paid to associate circuit judges for the state of Missouri and shall be adjusted at the same time as the salaries of associate circuit judges for the state of Missouri are adjusted."
Okay. Anybody have any comment about any of that? No? All right. Did we need, I don't remember what we've been doing now that I'm thinking about. Do we need to read the public comment that we received? Or I know everybody said they had already received it, but do we need to read it? Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay. All right, well, so then I guess we are moving to whether there's any discussion on anything that we just talked about, right? Nobody has any comments?
I did have a comment,
Yeah.
Kevin, and I
Yeah.
know we had talked about, is there any way we could do something as far as the education piece of what Will has? Like, I know you said that would be difficult, but to add, you know, like 5,000 for a master's and another 5 for a doctorate or something like that to, I think that incentivizes somebody in the future, but yet we're, you know, still raising the pay for the, you know, to the associate, I guess.
Sure.
Judge level. Is that something?
Well, again, I think we talked about this a couple different times, and I think what I said last week was, it's doable, it's not particularly clean, and it's hard to wordsmith it correctly. I thought there was not an appetite for it, but it's, I mean, it's doable.
Anybody else have comments?
I guess then I'd just start to question a little bit, like, where do you draw the line on something like that? Do you do something similar for like county commissioners as well, saying if you go get a bachelor's degree in public administration, you know, or what does that kind of open up? And I think it gets to be a little bit too much trying to add all of that, but I see where you're going. I appreciate where you're going, but yeah, I'm not there. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know if does anybody have any comments about, the final item here is finalize Clay County Constitution, full changes, ready to vote, final version, and ballot language.
Yep, and I have one very, very small change that I made to the document, and I hope I get permission to do this. We can change, I've got everything on a flash drive, by the way, so anything can be changed immediately. If you look at 3.03, powers of the county administrator. I've not talked to Damon, so he just worried when I said.
Last minute change.
You want a pay raise too.
So what we agreed on, and probably it was my language to begin with, it said sign if authorized by the law. I changed the word sign to execute, because I think it's just a little broader. I don't want someone to say, well, he can sign a contract, but he can't make an application online for a grant, for example, if authorized. It just, there are lots of things that I just thought a little bit broader was better, because I didn't want it to limit only to signing a document. And again, this is going to be overseen by the commission anyway. The commission may choose to give no authority, but should they do it, I would like just slightly more than just the ability to sign something. So that was my one hope, that you guys are okay with it.
Where was that
I removed the word sign at the beginning and inserted the word execute. So I think it's just slightly broader and gives the ability to do a few more things should the commission wish to have that office do those things.
Yeah, that felt like the intent of the conversation.
What's that?
That felt like the intent of the
It
conversation.
was definitely the intent. I agree. So, but I
Does
don't.
anybody have an issue with that, changing that?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Graham. Yeah, are there anything else anybody wants to talk about or revisit?
Are you going to this?
Did anybody have any comments about the letter that was given by Commissioner Johnson? Any comments on that?
Comments on, he was looking at, or recommending that we do the circuit instead of associate circuit.
I didn't know if anybody had any
Yeah.
discussion, comments, or anything. I was just asking if anybody had any comments or wanted to discuss Commissioner Johnson's letter. But if not, then we move on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
are you looking for a motion?
Well, I guess at this point, that's where we are, right? Is there anything else, Kevin, that we need to?
I think there's two things. So one is the Constitution itself, the actual document. The last page of the document is page 16, which I have separately for you. And that really, the meat of page 16 is the ballot language. And there is, this is all part, there's no, one way to do that. It's a little bit hard because we changed just enough that it felt like we need to put almost all of the changes in the language as opposed to, the first time you do it, you can't put 60 pages of the document in the ballot language. So, before you vote, I would suggest that we agree on the ballot language.
One question I was wondering about, or do we need to read it, or we can just ask questions?
But, I mean, how, we certainly can read it. I mean, it's, again, there's no one way to do it.
Okay. One thing I was thinking about was, how do we say, or do we need to say in the ballot language that, so I see the question here, shall Clay County adopt the proposed amendments to the Clay County Constitution? If I don't know that this is part of the routine execution of the Constitution, I may assume that someone is just proposing that we change things, but the reality is this was part of the Constitution for this group to come together. So does it need to be made clear that this wasn't just random people, coming up with proposed amendments, that it's actually part of the Constitution?
Okay. Yeah, fair point. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. I mean, the risk you run, the more verbiage you put in, the more you may turn people off and not get them to read through it, and they'll just say no. You want to be as clear as you can. You want to express the changes the best you can.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same, like if I was just a voter and I read, shall Clay County adopt the proposed amendments to the Clay County Constitution? And I thought, well, no, I like the changes that were there previously, the 7 new commissioners. Since I don't know much about it, I'm just marking no, and we're going to keep it how
So
it is.
could you plug in something that included that it was, because it was a 5-year review?
Yeah, this-
There's a language to that we might be able to add in there. Recommendations pursuant to the 5-year review. I'm getting feedback.
Section 9.05.
I think that would probably freak people out.
Pursuant to the Clay County Constitution, comma, the Clay County Commission has appointed a Clay County Constitutional Review Commission, which met, period, the Review Commission met to discuss.
Because we were required, you all
Yep.
were required.
Yep. It met to recommend amendments to the Constitution, and has submitted those. I mean, you could do an introductory paragraph. Is that what you're kind of wanting? That would then end with, shall these proposed amendments be adopted? And then the proposed amendments, then the descriptor. Okay.
Right.
So does everybody like the idea of an introductory paragraph before the question? I think
Yes.
I think that's okay to do. I think that would be okay to do. Okay.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
So everybody likes that.
Okay, so why don't you guys,
Kind of sets the stage, and it says, as required by Clay County Constitution,
Right.
the Constitutional Review Committee met and offers these proposed
Okay.
updates to the current Constitution.
Okay.
Something like that.
okay, so I got the idea there. Does everybody, okay, let's go through the actual the rest of the ballot language. Because I think Damon just suggested, I think it's a good idea. Let's get all the changes, and we'll take a break. You guys maybe could eat. I think there's food here, and we could try to knock out those changes. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. All right, so. And maybe we can just do it by, comma. The proposed amendments shall require the county to conduct a general election even when only one candidate has filed for office. And again, we don't have to put in this document the exact language because, again, we're trying to give them a feel for what the changes are. There will be a method for them to go look at the actual document. Okay, so is everybody okay with that opening comment? Okay. Comma. Transfers the authority to appoint members of county boards and commissions from the presiding commissioner to the entire county commission, comma. Is everybody okay with that as a shorthand of what you agreed on, okay?
Is that a point or is that approve? The word appoint,
Well, they always have the ability to approve, so I use the word appoint there.
so once they're approved, they're appointed, I guess?
Well, they can appoint and then, it's that appointing process that is, I think, key that you want to change.
Is it appointing or the nominating?
It's, the current document says appoint. It is
The
an,
document says appoint.
it says appoint, but it's a nominating process. So I was trying to make it consistent with what it currently says. But we can change that to nominate if everybody's good with that.
Because they don't, ultimately, they all are going to sign off on the appointment, but the changes that we want them to do, each be able to make nominations.
Okay.
I think the right word is nominate,
Yeah.
but the previous one said appoint, even though it was really a nomination process, right?
Yeah. Who's in favor of switching it to nominate? Down there? What's that?
I'm okay with it. Does it matter that we're referencing transferring that authority to a point? And now we're changing it to, or we need to make reference to that? Am I getting too far in the weeds on that?
I think so.
Okay.
What's your opinion?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. I apologize. I was looking at,
Change that word, appoint,
yes?
just change it without any reference?
You mean in the, so what I think
Because it was
is,
originally as a point?
well, so right now, we are deleting a paragraph.
Okay.
That is the presiding commissioner. We're inserting a new paragraph that is 2.14A. And if we're going to use the word nominate in the ballot language, I think we should change 2.14A to nominate as well, to make it consistent and clear on that.
But that doesn't fit, right? The county commission shall have the authority to nominate by majority vote. It's not actually nominate by majority vote.
Well, why don't we say nominate and approve?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So they already have the ability to approve, and then, so in 2.14A, we'll change that to nominate and approve. The ballot language will just change appoint to nominate, because they already have the ability to approve. Good? Okay. Okay. Everybody else good on that thought? Okay. Transfers the authority to appoint the presiding commissioner pro tem from the presiding commissioner to the entire county commission. And I think that's okay to leave right like it is, given what we've done there. Okay, everybody okay with that? Okay. Allow the county commission to call a special meeting of the county commission, which is one thing we wanted to add. So we're not taking that away from the presiding, but we are adding that authority to the county commission. Allows members of the county commission to receive all benefits available to other employees of the county. Good?
If we're adding that, should that go back to county commission under their section instead of being under presiding commission?
In the document?
Yeah.
Let's see. So I think we're talking about 2.07, which is not only the presiding commissioner. So I think that's an okay place for it to be. Yep, I think that's okay. Okay? Sets the prosecuting attorney's salary at the same level as a Missouri Circuit Judge, comma. Sets the sheriff's salary at the same level as a Missouri Associate Circuit Judge, comma. Grants additional authority to the county administrator, comma, as approved by the county commission, and allows each county commissioner to appoint one member of the county's redistricting and constitutional review commission, period. Those are I think, the bigger nuggets that we did that would be appropriate for ballot language. So with that one change of the word nominate to appoint, any other changes for the ballot language? Okay. All right. So with that said, just a little bit of wordsmithing on these two documents. I'm going to take a break, go off the record, or whatever. Everyone take a break, and you guys can eat some dinner, and we'll be back in a few.
There was, I mean, we opened it as public comment. He said the only comment was in your letter, and so they asked if everybody received the letters.
and I talked with the election board's attorney, and I think their comfort level is pretty high. They would prefer, as a technical matter, it just come to the county commission, and the county commission is the authority to send it to them, which is fine. That's what we typically do. I'm comfortable with that process. It'll be a ministerial function of the commission to do it. Under the Constitution, they're not empowered to change the document or anything like that. But I am going to recommend that we do it that way.
Which meeting you thinking?
What's that?
Which meeting?
Next Thursdays, I think, would be the right one. Yeah. And that would be next Thursday. So you don't have to be there. You're welcome to be. In fact, you may want to be there. But that would be the next process, I think.
28th.
Assuming you vote tonight, we would put it on for next Thursday night. And then the following day, it would be delivered to the election board.
Is that Stacy delivering, or who would that deliver? That's you, Stacy?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, usually it's the clerk's office that does that.
Yeah.
I talked with Tiffany over at the election board today, and she's comfortable with it. Oh, darn it. What happened there? Just FYI, on my version, everybody was on the signature line, but just now it looks like it got switched a little. So we will work on that for final version before everybody leaves. I'm not sure what happened there.
She's gonna go try to adjust it.
Because it easily
Sweet, and then a smoky sweet, but then after that, it kind of raised up.
hopefully you've all had a chance to look at that. And we made the change in the body that we had talked about, a very small change. So if you are good to go on that, if there's no more discussion, you're probably ready for a motion.
The only thing that came up on break, I don't, Mr. Johnson, did you want to speak, or? Sure. He submitted the letter and indicated he'd like a chance to, is that? Yeah.
Good afternoon, Jay Johnson, Clay County Commissioner. First of all, I apologize I wasn't here quite on time, and I apologize for the way I'm dressed. I was out working on my farm and lost track of time and realized, hey, it's time to go. So I apologize for that. So I'll tell you, this is just my last chance plea regarding the sheriff's pay in this Constitution. I think you guys know where I stand on this. I sent everybody a letter. I think you guys all read it. It outlines some of the responsibilities, not even all of them, but some of the responsibilities of the sheriff and my argument why I think he deserves to have, that position deserves to have more pay. For those who are listening at home, that letter is available for anybody. I know the county council and the county administrator has a copy of that as well as I do, so if anyone wants to see that, I'd be happy to share it with you. But first, let me tell you my motive here. I certainly have a background in law enforcement. I think most of you guys know that. I spelled that out in the letter. I won't belabor that. I don't want you to think I'm biased because of my background in law enforcement. I think I'm more educated because of my background in law enforcement. Not only because of the job, educated the job that the sheriff does, but more importantly, educated to how important public safety is. I ran on public safety. Every single commissioner ran on public safety, and almost every single person in the county who's run for public office has run on public safety. Very few of them have done anything for public safety, yet they all run on public safety. I did something for public safety day one when I came into office, and Joanne Lawson backed me up on this, and that is we had the lowest paid sheriff deputies in the region. Matter of fact, my kids were lifeguards at Worlds of Fun, made more money as a lifeguard at Worlds of Fun than a sheriff's deputy did. And that's horrible. And yet we had people that had been in office, people on our commission had been on our commission, had run on public safety, and yet kept them at the bottom of the barrel. So public safety lip service doesn't work for me. Public safety is at the root of everything in this county, whether it's your businesses, whether it's your schools, whether it's your home values, your insurance rates, everything revolves around public safety. And so when I came on the commission, that was one of the things I really was driving for is public safety. And one of the things that I noticed right away, and I had the biggest heartache with on our Constitution, was the pay of our sheriff. And I'll tell you why I had a problem with that. And first of all, let me dispel any rumors. I have no desire to be sheriff. I will never run for sheriff. I'm not setting myself up to run for sheriff. Someone had mentioned that earlier. No, I will never be sheriff. I would not do the sheriff job for under $300,000 to begin with. But even if it was $300,000, I have no desire. I'm in my 60s now. I've had job offers for more than what our sheriff makes, and I've turned them down. I have no interest, just so you know. And there's no quid pro quo going on with me and the current sheriff. And this has nothing to do with the current sheriff. My bigger concern, we're lucky to have a sheriff now who's as good as he is and will do it for the price he's doing. My bigger concern is the future. When this sheriff is gone, when this commission, public safety commission is gone, and what you put in the Constitution now will go on forever. One of the problems that you might not realize is in Missouri, our sheriffs are paid much less than our police chiefs. That's a Missouri thing. And the reason why, and I think you guys touched on it earlier, there's some state law, some archaic state law, to be quite honest, that actually limited limited sheriff salaries. And it still does for some sheriffs. It doesn't for us because of the kind of constitution we have. But it still limits sheriff salaries. Most states don't do that. So most states, like where I came from, California, the sheriff makes much more than any police chief. I was one of the highest paid police chiefs in the state, in the nation. And yet I have one of my best friends, a good friend of mine, went through the academy together, grew up through the police department together. He's a sheriff in LA County now. He probably makes about $200,000 a year more than what I made. Obviously, that's money from California, which is different than here. Nonetheless, the idea is they were paid based on the responsibility that they had or have. Cities here can pay their chiefs based on responsibility, based on their span of control, the things that they have to do. We don't have what we do now as a constitutional committee in the past, and most sheriff's departments don't have the ability to do that, and that's how we ended up with chiefs being paid much more than our sheriffs and have a fraction of the responsibility. You know, you still have, if the difference in pay that I'm talking about from associate circuit judge, which you're recommending, to a circuit judge, I think the circuit judge is, I think about 180. So it's about, what, a $15,000 difference maybe? Which is $12,000 difference. It's a $12,000 difference is all we're asking, which, by the way, if you're worried about the money, that's a drop in the bucket for a $180 million budget, whatever we have. So that's not an issue. But the concern is in the future. And actually, I think Don brings up several times that the ability to attract quality and education is important to her, but the ability to attract quality sheriffs and people that want to run for office. And I'll tell you, that is my big concern. As we're setting ourselves up for the future, I want to be able to attract the best and brightest law enforcement executives out there that will come and work for us. A lot of those best and brightest law enforcement executives have experience in the police side that gets paid a lot more than the sheriff's side. And so we're missing out on a lot of those who may, and I'll give you an example. Let's say the Kansas City police chief were to retire. She has an impeccable resume. She'd be, I think, an outstanding sheriff. She'd take about $100,000 plus pay cut to do it. But we can't compete with that. And so I want to get us in a situation where we can at least compete, where we at least attract some people that will say, and it's not about money if you're in public office, but the thing is, when you're a police chief, you get appointed. With your sheriff, you have to go through that hassle of running for office, running a campaign, raising money. It's just not fun. Nobody wants to do that. And the public scrutiny, you know, everybody knows who Sheriff Will Aiken is because of the public, you know, right now, the Liberty Police Chief makes a lot more than our sheriff makes. I bet most of you don't know who the name of the Liberty Police Chief is because he's not high profile like the sheriff is. I mentioned in the letter, we have 28 cities in this county, 28 cities. Only 10 of them have police departments. The other 18 are the responsibility of the sheriff. He's essentially the chief of police for 18 other cities. That's a span of control that most people don't understand. When you talk about him being a CEO of a company, he's got 240 employees he's responsible for, plus another 400, last weekend it was 400 and I think 20-something inmates. That's 650 plus people who he's responsible for. 650 plus, nobody else has that span of control in government in this county. It just, that complexity and span of control is just huge. And to attract someone to that is my concern. It's a public safety issue that, you know what, in the future, when the sheriff that we have is gone, when this commission, when I'm gone, Joanne's gone, I want law enforcement executives with experience to take a look at the position and say, you know what, that's something I'll do. And that amount of money, it's not a lot, but it's worth it. I personally think, I think the 180 is too low. I think the sheriff and the prosecutor, the two most important jobs, I think, when it comes to public safety in our county, I think both those positions should be well over $200,000. If I were king, that's the price I'd put on it, and I'd raise his salary as well. That's the price I'd put on it. But I don't get it that. So 180 to me is still way too low. But to me, it's something I think we can get to the voters. I think having a circuit court judge equivalency with that span of control that he has, and he or she is responsible for whoever's in that position. Again, don't think Will Aiken and Zach Thompson. Think about we got to fill those positions when they're gone. And I will tell you, I'm worried. I'm worried if we don't, we're putting in a constitution, we're setting in a constitution, and this bothers me as well, that we're actually putting in a constitution someone's salary. We're limiting someone's salary in a constitution. I'm okay if you do that with me, with a commissioner. But you know, we have two other electeds, the county assessor and the county auditor. We don't limit their salary in the Constitution. The commission could give them whatever salary we want, essentially. And we can give them raises every year. There's no limit in it, but yet we've decided in this Constitution that we're going to limit the salaries of our sheriff and our prosecutor, which I don't like that, first of all, but if that's the route we're going down, I'm hoping that we at least give them a salary that's a little bit more competitive. And right now, for the span of control, and I've laid out some of it, and I didn't even lay out all of it. I mean, responsibility of the court security. I didn't even put that in there. Responsibility of the court security our sheriff has. The courts. Those are the kind of things that most people don't realize. That is a big responsibility. And his job isn't a 9 to 5. He doesn't get to go home and clock out. He gets calls all night long, weekends, whenever anything major happens in the county, he gets the call. He gets woken up. Not too many other employees in our county are in that position. There's a couple, but not a lot of them. He gets woken up. He gets called out on a regular basis. He leaves family events on a regular basis. It's just, the list goes on and on and on, but I'm pleading with you. It's $12,000. It's $12,000 just to put him up to the circuit court judge position. It's a drop in the bucket. It still is not in any kind of parity with what he deserves or with what a chief makes, even though his span of control is much larger than most chiefs. Chiefs don't handle county jails. Chiefs handle city jails. I was a chief. I had a city jail, not nearly as big as a county jail. And lastly, the last point was a really good one, and it would have convinced all of you, but it's escaped me right now. Where was I going with that? You guys get the point. You get the point. It's really a drop in the bucket to us, to our budget, but I think when it comes to public safety, I don't want to be mediocre. And we're going down the road of mediocre. We're tying into other mediocre counties, other mediocre positions. I don't want to be mediocre. I want Clay County to be the best in public safety. I would like Clay County to be the highest paid prosecutor in the state. I like Clay County to have the highest paid sheriff in the state. And I think that would help in our recruitment for those positions when those positions become open. So I'm just pleading with you one last time, if you please, it's so important that we get this sheriff up to a salary that's at least at the circuit court judge level. Again, as you know, I think he's worth much more. Not he, the position is worth much more than that. But I ask that you reconsider that. It's $12,000. It's nothing in our budget, $180 million plus budget. But I think it will help in the long run when it comes to not the sheriff, but the public safety. This is nothing I'm doing as a favor for Will. I mean, I'll tell you, Will's a friend. We're professional friends, and there's no quid pro quo going on here. I've always supported Will. Will's always supported me. That's not going to change no matter what we do here. But I'm telling you, for the sake of the county, for public safety, we talk about public safety. We're all about public safety. We love public safety. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's at least pay him the circuit court judge level. It's $12,000. But it at least says, hey, we care about public safety. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. So anyways, that's my plea to you today. Any questions you have of me? Okay, thanks, Jay. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jay.
I think we ought to reconsider that.
I agree.
I think for 12,000, I think there's nothing wrong with that myself. Anybody else have comments on it? Anyone?
Make a motion?
Pardon?
Are we making a
Yeah.
motion to change it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to change it.
To the circuit
To
court?
the circuit, yeah, instead of the
Your
associate.
I second.
Consensus, thoughts? I think we've got two choices, which way we want to go here.
I'm on board.
You're on board?
Yep.
That's one?
$12,000.
I think we've addressed the pay issue on that.
What's that?
I think we've addressed the pay issue, and I would make a motion that we adopt as is the changes that we've.
We have a motion.
Well, I mean, it really, what we're talking about is consensus. I think we've got, I'm counting 1, 2, 3 yays, 1 no, or keep it, you keep it as is, okay?
Don, what about Don?
What's that?
Don?
This one's a hard one for me because I agree law enforcement should be paid more. I did a little research and I know Phoenix, Arizona looked at their sheriff's pay, and it's about 120, and that's a little bit bigger than here. Nashville, Tennessee, 159, and I know we're going to about 166, I think is the associate judge.
I think that's the ballpark.
So, I mean, I feel like, you know, that's a huge step. That's why I was really wanting the education piece to kind of get a little extra, because I think Will is outstanding. But I think setting that base and then doing the extra was what I, you know, prefer than setting it the same. That's just,
I've heard you mention the extra, that's just I haven't seen that in government, as far as to pay based off of the education in a elected position. Typically, you just do the base salary and go from there. And I can't say I've seen that any place of doing that. Now, when you negotiate an agreement, or like myself or somebody like that, and you have certain credentials, yeah, but that's not something you do. That's why you got to set a base based off of something that pretty much prior why they utilize law enforcement all within the Criminal Justice Center to make those salaries what they are.
Right. Well, and then the other side of this is, I look at, you know, we're here also for the taxpayers, and we're going from 124 to 166, or is it 124 to 180? And I know the prosecuting attorney is going from, what, 166 to 180.
Yep.
So then I'm just looking at what's right and what's fair for everybody. But I do get it. I mean, I think Will is outstanding. And, you know, part of me says, yeah, 12,000, yeah, why not? But at what point do we, you know, set that bar as far as we also want to be due diligent as far as the taxpayer dollars and what other counties are doing as far as the prosecutor versus the sheriffs. But, I mean, I have said, I do think he's worth more.
Well, my thought on that, I guess, would be if you think he's worth more than that.
But that's him as a person.
Right, but then if you're
I
going
know.
to attract another candidate once he's gone, are you more likely to attract somebody that's got the higher qualifications?
Well, I think we will do that at the 166.
Yeah.
It's also not a hiring position, it's an elected position.
Right.
And so, you know, if they think the pay is too low, then they don't have to run. People do it for more reasons than just the pay. And I do think that is a pretty good bump up to associate circuit level. I also think from a voter standpoint, it doesn't, you want to be careful not to look like, well, they're just voting out themselves all in these pay raises. But I think it's a very fair increase, but more than a fair increase. And I think we'll get plenty of candidates if they live in the county or if they want to move to Clay County that will be interested in that position. Just because it's Clay County. I don't think it's going to jeopardize public safety by having a $12,000 less than the circuit court judge.
I think it'll be detrimental to Clay County when Sheriff Aiken moves on or leaves or retires. If we don't raise the bar now, I think it's going to be detrimental to public safety in Clay County.
And I don't think we can ignore the fact that we have already given an increase, though. And this will continue to come with annual increases as well. And what was the numbers when you said what are we going from and to now?
From 124 to 166.
I mean, that's already a pretty substantial jump right there
Very
that we can't
substantial.
ignore.
Yeah. I also think that, you know, the prosecutors apparently have a better lobbying group in Jefferson City because, you know, they tied it to circuit court judges, and they've always had that, at least from my experience for the last 35 years. But I think also the Sheriff's Association should step up. It's very hard to do in Missouri because you've got a lot of different, 114 counties with all kinds of different population base, you know, and Clay County has pretty good size population, but, you know, if they need to look at it and maybe put some requirements as far as population and responsibility. We have high responsibility here in Clay County, but again, we're giving them, what, over $40,000 increase. And so I think we've addressed that issue.
Any other comments?
I agree with these most recent points that were made. I mean, I did the research, we talked about it the last time. I think back to your comments about the last Constitution run and you guys coming to the 75% of the associate circuit judge level and how significant of an increase that was at the 75. And now we're looking another 25% increase here to the associate circuit judge level just in a 5-year span. And so I think for me, the associate circuit judge level that we talked through last week is the right spot.
Okay. So I think what I'm hearing is 3 to move it up, 2 to keep it at associate circuit. I haven't heard anything definitive from Bryant or Dawn.
No, I would keep it the way we've drafted it.
Well, I'm sorry?
I would keep it the way we've drafted it. Already.
Keep it as is? All right, then Dawn, and keep it. Okay, so that's 4 to keep it, 3 to move it up. The way it's currently written is to keep it at the associate circuit level. Is that it?
Looks like it.
Okay.
Okay, so the next matter is the vote.
So the document as a whole with the language attached for the ballot language would be, yes, the vote.
Who calls for
Mr.
the
Chair,
vote?
I'd move for adoption.
Let's have the clerk do the roll call, maybe, yeah. All right, so I need a motion to approve.
We have a motion.
Oh, we got a motion, okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Call the roll.
Do you want me to call the roll? Okay.
And understand, this is not on the last motion, this is on the whole document, whether the whole document should be approved as is. That's what the motion is.
Scott Lakin,
Aye.
Bryant DeLong,
Aye.
Don Kramer, Natalie Scholl,
Aye.
Jason Ward,
Aye.
James Godwin,
Aye.
Anthony Wallonia.
Aye.
Congratulations. So before you leave, I've got a document for everybody to sign. Again, it will be brought up to the county commission a week from this Thursday at 6 o'clock. Your attendance is not required, but I would encourage it, and I think they would be welcome. As you guys are finishing up this job, and then we'll get it probably the next day to the election board. Okay?
Do we need to hit county administrator comments?
Oh, there you go.
Before, it's on the list.
Oh, it is?
Nothing?
No, I'm good. I just want to, well, I will say, thank you for your service. I mean, you guys have put a lot of time in it, beyond just coming here, the research, things like, and you took your job serious. So, since I've been here, to have our 7 elected officials also choose 7 citizens who put that time and effort into, I appreciate what you've done. And I think you've done what you can for the citizens of Clay County, so thank you.
Comments from the county councilor?
Same comment. Thank you very much.
I, more than others, know exactly what you do because I did it, 6 years ago. Thank you very much. It's thankless, and really appreciate your time.
I want to say thank you to you because you made it really helpful.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, Damon, well,
Both of you,
Yeah,
Jay.
you did.
thank you,
You
thank you.
did a great job. Thank you.
Can I say something on behalf of the county commission?
Sure.
I really do appreciate you guys and all you did. This was a tough job. A lot of you had to look into, a lot of back and forth, but you all were very professional in everything you did, so I appreciate it very much.
Pleasure. Good pleasure. Thank you. Okay, well, go ahead.
I was just going to thank you to everyone as well. I really enjoyed this process. I think everyone did a good job being thoughtful and thorough and working well together to get to even complex issues we got there. And so I appreciate all your guys' work as well, keeping us on task, and of course, all of our county staff. So appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Before you leave, please sign the original. You will get this if we move along.
And thanks for bringing desserts. Oh, yeah.
Is that your gavel? Your gavel?
Motion to adjourn? Second?
Yeah.
All in favor? All right.
Very good.
Appreciate it, buddy.